Hear you, and this is, hear you, this is Lord Potato, your boy. Sorry for not uploading anything in a while, 2 months, 3 months, six, but I don't fucking care. Okay, just like how I mentioned on that one video about, getting a job and other things, I didn't get the job, I got fucked over. Whatever, I'm still going to go get a fine job somewhere else, but not the point. I'm not trying to get a cashier job. Fuck that. I don't like talking to people. Not the point. Also, before I go on, this is a redo of this what if. This is what if Naruto had different metallic jutsus. I might have to change the freaking name. So I'm gonna change it to what if Naruto had metallic, mostly metallic jutsus. Jutsu slash abilities. Now, so instead of just different metals, it's the same, different metallic metals, whatever. I'm not gonna go on with the same story like on the other one because it's been 1 year. So yeah, like multiple what ifs that I've been kind of hearing, I realized that I was dead ass tired in some of those what ifs. So instead of being dead ass tired, and I know people were kind of getting bored of the fact that I was dead ass tired, or probably just whatever, I'm going to try to do my 100% best and not to be too tired, and of course just like mumble on with some of my words because that's what I kind of noticed mostly watching this, and I'm only at like 7 minutes in, and I realized it's kind of probably boring and not that interesting. I kind of did go on with the same story, but not the point. I'm gonna go on with a redo. I'm going to redo, probably change the thumbnail, or probably later, I don't know. But not the point here, there, or whatever bullcrap I'm gonna go on with. But, whatever with that stuff, so I'm gonna upload this video. You can comment in the, comments, in which what if, I should be bringing back, like, which what if series of Naruto I should kind of like bring back from either 1 year, 2 years ago, because I might have forgotten, or might have not continued on, or I might have just left that off on one part. Just tell me in the comments. Also, I swear to God, I'm not doing any new what-ifs. Don't bullcrap me with any of that, because I know I can just check on my fucking YouTube studios to see if I have done it. If I haven't, I don't care. I'm not gonna go on to do more new Naruto what-ifs. So don't bullshit me with that. I will literally fucking delete your comment just because I'm annoyed. Now, fuck off. Other than that, I am going to be cussing even more, but yeah. I am gonna keep the same intro. So, yeah. I've been grinding way too much on my second channel, just trying to get it to at least 600. While on this channel, I haven't really done anything. But, not the point. Let me begin into this what if. Let me shut the fuck up, and let me just begin. So, we begin into a kind of goldenish hair, mostly goldenish hair, silverish eyes boy right now running through a kind of forest. This is where, multiple people are chasing him down. This kind of goldenish hair boy has kind of silverish kind of whisker marks on his face. Now, well, not silverish, it's kind of brass color, or not brass, it's kind of a steel color, it's kind of dark a little bit, but yeah. This is where, he is running. He has kind of tannish skin, but he's right now having an orange jumpsuit right now. Or, it's not orange, because right now the orange jumpsuit itself kind of turned mostly a kind of different color entirely. The reason why it turned in different colors is because metal, like liquid metal, kind of appear on a vial that he pulls out. This is where it decided to mold around his body in an insane. He was kind of bending it because it's liquid metal and it's quite easily to bend. But this is where, he doesn't care. He hides behind a tree in an instinct. This is where, multiple people are rushing through the tree lines. Well, not tree lines. Tree lines mostly on the ground, like they're civilians. They're basically just civilians running. This is where, he's right now kind of trying to keep his breath under control by using the molten metal to cover up his mouth so he can actually try to calm down his heartbeat and his breathing. This is where, he makes a metal sword out of mostly a metal dagger. And this is where, the metal dagger basically looks like the one that Sun Jin Woo kind of used, the one that's called the the Night Slayer. So yeah, this is where, it's similar to that, but it's not red, or mostly, it's not red. It just kind of looks kind of steel color. This is where, well, he is right now kind of looking into the mostly dark. The moonlight is shining upon multiple people with pitchforks, some hoes. Yes, not hoes. Like, I mean, like the hoe weapon, like the fucking farming tool. Okay, not like actual hoes. Not the point. They also have somewhat katanas. Some of them do have tantos and other kind of weapon, metallic weapons. This is where, well, he then sees some of them that are ninjas, but they're not actually like trained ninjas to have like metal kunais. This is where, well, the boy seems to kind of just been looking through the tree lines. This is where, well, he has one of his eyes kind of activated in an insane. Well, not one of his eyes, both of his eyes right now activated into a one-tomoe Sharingan. But this one-tomoe Sharingan is quite different. The Uchihas will tell you it will be quite different, because this Sharingan is kind of gold and silver. Basically, the color of the Sharingan is not red, but instead gold. And mostly the Tomoe itself is a silverish color, kind of just spinning around. The dot in the middle is silver, but it's slick silver. The reason why he's slick silver right now is because he's using a bit of the Nine-Tails power. Now, you're probably wondering what is happening right now. Well, we go into a mostly a flashback, or mostly a flashback of what is happening. You see here, the boy that's right now in the forest and kind of hiding. His name is none other than Naruto Uzumaki. Well, he hates the last name Uzumaki because a lot of people knows about him and who exactly he is. So he instead changed his name entirely to Metallic. Anywhere he needs to go, just Metallic. But yeah, he thought of the name, it sounded cooler because of mostly like metals and other kind of words that he found out. You see here, this boy is actually the age of 7 years old. 7 years fucking years old. So he's 7 years old. And this boy is right now getting chased down by a mafia. Or not even the mafia, it's basically a mob. You wonder if this mob is like containing from another village or whatever. Not exactly, it's basically his own villagers. Well, let me explain. This child is Naruto Uzumaki. He comes from a village called, well, Hidden in the Leaves. Also, it's in Fire Country, but not the point. The villagers, ever since he was born, hated his guts. For no fucking reason. Just hated him. Probably because of the whiskers, but that doesn't actually make any fucking sense to him at all. Now, this boy is quite a genius, but he hides it with his stupidity, because he rather kind of act stupid than act like a genius and be targeted more. Now, this boy kind of never knew why people hated him so much. Now, his goldenish hair is quite a dead giveaway, but mostly he doesn't know why he has goldenish hair. Literally, it kind of twinkles into the light. Literally, it just twinkles truly into the light. Anything that kind of just shines upon his head literally just twinkles because his hair is literally gold. But not the point. His eyes are silver, and people just hate him entirely. People call him the Demon Fox, the Nine-Tails container, but mostly some of those people that kind of call out those names towards mostly this kid named Naruto basically got executed or was thrown in jail by the third Hokage. He doesn't understand why the old man kind of did that, but he just knows that the old man is basically hiding something away from him. This is where, well, he needs to find out, but these damn villagers of his own village is trying to kill him every day, every single day. He gets beaten up mostly when he was the age of 4, 5, 6. Right now he's 7, but not the point. Even 7, but mostly he has been beaten up clearly almost to death. He literally almost saw death himself, which Death was quite shocked to see a child be in front of him almost multiple fucking times. Now, him and Death being the Shinigami was always, every time, well, Naruto showed up with the Shinigami, they would have start kind of playing like some kind of like, what's it called, shogi. The reason why is because Death Form isn't able to take the soul of Naruto just because the Nine-Tails is actually keeping him alive. He's in a state where he's dead, but he's not dead. And of course, the Nine-Tails doesn't fully help him out, which he can't because of the whole seal. Which pretty much the Shinigami just literally just sits there next to, well, Naruto, just playing what's it called, shogi. which mostly Naruto doesn't really mind, so that's the thing. But he had enough of every kind of bullcrap. He gets beaten up. Hiruzen doesn't do jack shit, that's his name, the third Hokage, and he doesn't do anything. Really, he could send some ninjas, but those ninjas will probably just kill Naruto. So of course, Naruto doesn't ask Hiruzen for any help, because Hiruzen doesn't do jack. So of course, he takes matters towards his own hands. You see here, when he was around 6 years old, he found out something strange about himself. Every time he was near metals, like what's it called, spoons, forks, or any type of metal object, he was able to always bend it with his mind. Like one time he just wanted to make a ball out of a fork, and he literally made it out of mostly a ball, just crushing it into a ball, just bending it into a ball. This is where it was a perfectly round cylinder, and of course he was confused. This is where he realized that, he can actually, kind of bend metal. It's bending metal, but at the same time shaping it into the desire that he wants. He can desire anything. Just his imagination is the only thing that mostly is the limit. His imagination. But of course, the kid decides to always, imagine a lot of crazy things. Mostly weapons is one of the most best things that he can actually do. It's because that's basically the key for his survival. Now, of course, he doesn't know any healing jutsus. He doesn't know anything else. Fire jutsu, any of that. He knows only how to use his metal. His metal kind of kekkei. Now, mostly no one in the village knows about his metal kekkei and should never know about his metal kekkei. Because if they knew about it, he probably would have been killed or would have been tortured and taken his DNA out of his body, or would have been used as breeding stock to make more powerful children. So of course he never said anything about it. He doesn't care about telling it towards the third Hokage, because maybe the third Hokage will spill the beans towards some damn people, and then he will get fucked over even more, even since his life is already shitty. So of course, when he was a 6-year-old, he was smart enough not to tell anyone. Now, at a 6-year-old age, he did kind of always meet the Nine-Tails. The Nine-Tails was too grumpy and didn't really want to talk to the child. But Naruto considered the Nine-Tails to be his only friend, which is kind of sad. But he doesn't care. Now, of course, he decides to start training on how to bend this metal. Now, this metal doesn't need that much chakra. It literally does not need too much chakra. And since the fact that the Nine-Tails keep fucking up his chakra coils, pretty much he just needs to use a little bit of chakra. This is where, if he can actually control a bit of his own chakra that isn't getting fucked over by the Nine-Tails, then, he can be able to, control a little bit better of these metal abilities. Now, he has learned, he has taken a bit of metal like spoons, forks, or whatever. Now, of course, with his skill of literally being undetected most of the time, literally even wearing an orange jumpsuit ever since he was a child, he cannot be detected too easily. He's able to escape the ambushes pretty easily and other things. Now, that's not the point here or there. Now, he also does really good pranks, which no one can easily find him, but for some reason, some ambushes usually screw him over. Now, with that happening, he usually has to kind of, learn how to somehow get his presence away from other ambushes. And those are the blank white mask ambushes, which they like to screw him over most of the time. The others, the animals, seem to not be as skilled as the blank white ones. This is where, he has learned in this tough world to never trust anyone. Never to fully trust anyone. He learns that trusting someone is a stupid idea to do. He basically is a little bit like Aizen from Bleach, where he kind of does that whole speech of mostly trust and how other things, so but not the point. Now, ever since he was a 6-year-old, after kind of discovering his metal abilities, he's been stealing about a couple just forks, spoons, and anything that was metal entirely, that was either magnet or non-magnet, like metals. He was just stealing it just to see if he can control it. Now, he was able to figure out that he's able to control metals. And he has trained ever since he was 6 years old to figure out more ideas on how to control this. Now, he figured out that he can make daggers. Now, instead of making a kunai, which would have been helpful for any like situation of throwing it or anything, he instead makes a dagger because he saw it on a picture one time and saw how the design seems to be cool. Now, of course, the dagger seems to be quite helpful in a battle between mostly like tantos or even what's it called, other like kunais or even katanas. The dagger seems to be quite helpful. Well, yeah, let me say it again. Helpful, since it's quite fast swinging because, well, it's a small weapon. At the same time, it still has enough weight to shatter another person's blade if you swing hard enough. At the same time, it won't be able to be break easily, unlike a tanto, because a tanto's blade is a little bit kind of thinner than mostly a dagger. But that's not the point. And it's quite easy to kind of create. It doesn't need that much imagination power or chakra to kind of create it. Which he kind of always has in just in case he needs to kind of kill someone. Which he doesn't care about killing people when he's already 7 years old. He has done it before. People like drunken idiots have actually tried to pick a fight with him, which he doesn't mind in slaughtering them down, basically killing them by slitting their throats. But yeah. Now, we go back into the 7-year-old after the little history point and where we're at mostly. We go back into mostly what really happened. So, Naruto was actually walking down somewhat the village, realizing that today is kind of his birthday and that's why he's actually considered to be 7 years old. So of course he realized that a huge mob is actually going after him to try to kill him, or try to just beat him up to near death. Now this is why he started running away and decided to jump into a forest. Now, he jumped into a forest, one of the training grounds, and this is where, well, the mob chased after him. He managed to get away into mostly the night and hide behind a tree, and now he's covered up with this molten metal and mostly having a dagger right now in his hand. Having his eyes transform into the Sharingan, but yeah. Now, this is the first time he ever uses the Sharingan, but yeah. Now, also with the slick eyes, well, it's also his first time using the Nine Tails power. But since his kind of control in chakra is kind of good, it seems to be able to control a little bit the Nine Tails, like a basically a fracture of a piece. But that's not the point. It'd be good enough to escape. He's kind of storing that kind of like chakra piece in his leg just in case he needs to speed up and kind of have to slaughter this army. Which he doesn't care if he has to slaughter this army. This whole village has been nothing but a fucking pain and has pissed him off way too much. So if he kills these people, he knows that he needs to be running. He will have to be in the run. So of course, he hides into the dark. He right now looks into the dark with his eyes, his silverish eyes. Well, mostly golden silverish eyes, slick silver eyes. This is where, well, he sees his prey. Multiple people. 25, well, mostly 25 people are adults, mostly being males. Well, mostly 25 males, and some females will be like somewhere around 15. This is where, well, some of them are around their teenager years, somewhere being around 16 to 17. This is where, well, one of them is actually like this old man that has a katana and he's kind of like shaky and other things. This is where, well, and two of them seems to be children, mostly somewhere around his age, like kids. But they're near this like woman. He doesn't care about killing kids neither, which he realized that mostly all the children in his mostly age are nothing but pricks. But yeah, this is where, well, he looks into the dark. He right now kind of holds the dagger pretty tight. This is where, well, he was about to launch and decided to start kind of killing them. But before doing that, this is where, well, an Anbu appeared right in front of the crowd and saying, "What are you all doing? Go back to your, what's it called, mostly houses. We have an intruder alert in the village. It seems that a rogue ninja has managed to get into the village." This is where, well, Naruto got his mostly ears perked up in an instant after hearing that. Of course, I should mention the metallic chakra around him, the liquid, seems to be covering up the chakra around him, mostly his own chakra, so he can be kind of mostly undetective. This is where, well, mostly he hears the kind of Anbu telling these people to get out of this place. But before doing it, a huge crash appears, well, mostly around or mostly in the group of the mob. This is where, well, the Anbu winds his eyes and right now pulls out katana. But before able to do anything, a huge sword right now flies through the wind and slicing the Anbu into half. This is where the Anbu winds his eyes and right now coughs up some blood. This is where he falls down to the ground, and this is where, well, other people are right now scared. The Anbu was defeated too easily. This is where, well, the ninja itself seems to be this like dark hooded, well, mostly not dark hooded, mostly this like black long hair figure. This is where, well, he had kind of like his hair was similar to that of like dark kind of like charcoal or something like that. His face seems to be kind of tan, a little bit like they can barely see it, but it seems to be tan. His eyes seems to be white, and this is where, well, purely white, and this is where he has such a vicious grin. Of course, they managed to see a scar on his face and even an eye patch. This is where, well, he kind of pulls out a sword from his, well, mostly unsheathes a sword, and he has mostly this like long sword that's actually quite kind of sharp, but at the same time jagged as hell. This is where, well, the sword handle is kind of bandaged up, and this is where, well, even the handle, mostly the sheath, and this is where, well, he says, interesting, you people are quite pathetic, and some people like you are quite pathetic, even though you people have weapons. Let's see how many of you can survive. This is where he started slaughtering them down. This is an S-rank ninja. Now this S-rank ninja wanted to fight most of the Leaf Village to see how strong the Leaf Village is. Now, this S-rank ninja is none other from mostly a different village entirely. He became an S-rank because of how much power he has. This is where, well, mostly, the S-rank ninja was already finished slaughtering down everyone. He sees the huge sword that he took. That was none other from Zabuza, and this is where, well, he didn't kill Zabuza, but mostly Zabuza had to let go of his blade, or he mostly had to retreat away from this person. This is where, well, he has the kind of blade with him. This is where, well, he then says, I can sense you, kid. This is where he calls out to the kid. This is where the other kids that were with their basically parents were kind of already killed or were crushed underneath him when he appeared in the middle of the crowd, but yeah. Some of them get blown away. This is where, well, Naruto was still hiding. He didn't trust this person. This is where, well, he started trying to mostly not really walk away, thinking that he can take on this person. He really doesn't care if he can't take on this person because, well, he doesn't show any fear or anything. Like, this person is his only chance to either die, escape, or probably just whatever. This is where, well, the older man says, it seems that you haven't run away. Quite interesting. From that look, from one of my good eyes, I can see that you have such a predator look in your eye. No fear in your eyes. Quite interesting, kid. Tell me, kid, what's your name? This is where, well, cricket, cricket, cricket. Mostly crickets appear. This is where, well, the older looking man says, so you do not want to talk to me. Fine, that is okay. Let's see how strong you are. But before he can even finish anything, he already pulls out his sword to block a dagger attack in an instant. This is where, well, both the older man, mostly the older man is kind of grinning with such a vicious grin, while the younger looking child is right now trying to stab at him with the dagger, or mostly just try to like swing at him with the dagger. Now, of course, this is where, well, the older man grins because he noticed the dagger didn't actually fully break. But of course, it does seem to be a little bit cut into the metal. This is where, well, Naruto notices and realizes that he didn't put enough chakra, but still enough of it to block the actual sword. This is where, well, he then kind of uses the metallic jacket that's around him, the liquid metal, to make a blade, mostly like this, like, what's it called, spike. Like a spike in his hand to just like try to stab at the older man. Which he tries to do that, but this is where when he swings his hand, this is where, well, mostly he like tried to send a punch into this man, but there was mostly like a spike protruding to trying to stab at the man. The man widened his eyes, and of course, instead of dodging, he let the kid actually stab him to see if this kid is actually truly a monster or will he get scared from the blood. This is where when Naruto manages to pierce at the older looking man, the other looking man actually seems very interested and very keen in this kid because mostly the kid didn't actually care in stabbing the older man. Even the older man seems a little surprised seeing Naruto not kind of cry out or kind of say sorry about stabbing him or kind of freaking out with the blood. The kid still has an emotionless gaze. Of course, he can't see his mouth, but he's guessing that this kid actually has probably an evilish, sinister smile. He doesn't know too much, but this is where, he grins seeing how, Naruto didn't freak out. Instead, Naruto right now melts the metal dagger in an instant, right now making the older man kind of wind his eyes completely confused. But this is where, when the metal dagger seems to be like falling out of liquid, this is where, Naruto appears like ducking under the swing and of course letting the dagger kind of like metal fall down on his hand. Of course making it back into a stronger shape, and this is where he tries to swing up. This is where, the older man winded his eyes, but this is where he instead kicked the kid. This is where, Naruto right now winded his eyes. Of course he would have coughed up any blood, but since he has a mask, it didn't really kind of send any blood from his mouth, but yeah, because it's truly in the mask. But this is where, he sees, mostly Naruto smash into multiple trees. And this is where, the older looking man says, did I kill him? Still, the kid seems interesting. He didn't fear death at all. Even if he was about to try to cut me open. Quite interesting. Maybe I should, before he can even react fast enough to turn around, multiple metal symbols were actually launched towards him in an instant. Not by mostly, it was by, mostly some, like Ambus in an instant. This is where Ambus started sending symbols at the older looking man. And this is where the older looking man grins and decides to cut down the symbols in an instant with his sword. This is where he grins and appears right in front of the Ambus, right now slaughtering them in an instant. This is where metal daggers, or not metal daggers, mostly symbols kind of fell down on the ground, either symbols, also like swords, because some of the swords were shattered in an instant. Some of kunais were also cut through easily. This person wasn't even using any chakra into his sword, and they were easily just being cut down. You see where, he was grinning like a madman. He was like, you people are nothing but weaklings. Bring me the Hokage. I want to fight the strongest man they used to live in the war, or mostly in the second war, or is it second, third war? I can't remember. I think it was third war. This is where, mostly these Ambus are easily slaughtered, but yeah. Now, this is where he realized one thing. Before anything else can happen, mostly the blood around him started kind of lifting up. Even metal itself started lifting up. He was confused. He saw mostly the Ambus that he slaughtered kind of, lift up in an instant, like not water, mostly like metal, not metal, mostly like blood around them kind of stuck into their kind of body and lift them up like if they were kind of like puppets. This is where, he looked towards, the tree lines, because he noticed the blood kind of strings started appearing onto the tree lines, which he was confused until he noticed, none other than Naruto walking out. This is where Naruto's hand, his right hand, not right hand, left hand, has what's called strings kind of appear, but they're made out of blood. It seems that he's able to control blood itself. Kind of. You see here, blood is actually kind of have some iron and some metals in your blood. So he's able to control it. And one of his eyes actually became bloodshot red, mostly his left eye. It still has a Sharingan, but the white around his eye actually become bloodshot. This is where, he looks at mostly the older looking man, and this is where, Naruto seems to have no fear in his eyes. Truly zero fear. He instead has a vicious grin because mostly his mask fully melted off from his face, and he has such a vicious grin. Blood is actually kind of falling down from his teeth, and yet he doesn't care. He says, quite interesting. Yours seems to be quite strong. And yet I'm discovering more things about myself. I didn't know I can actually control blood itself. I don't care too much. All I care is defeating you. Or die trying to. This is where Naruto says. Now, of course, his mostly language is kind of broken because he had never got any teaching from anyone. So, of course, mostly the other man looks at mostly Naruto with a vicious grin and says, quite interesting, kid. You seem not to give up neither. You're just like me. Someone that basically is crave for battle. You basically crave for battle and don't care about anyone else. Tell me, kid, what is your name? This is where, well, Naruto says my name? My name is Metallic. Metallic, I see. Well, Metallic, the name is Zaraki Kampachi. Remember that name, kid, because when we see each other again, I would like to have a very interesting battle with you. Maybe a battle to the death. Right now you're still a child, and you still have so much potential to grow. So tell me, when we see each other, will you be able to kill me, or would I kill you instead? This is where, well, Naruto says, who cares about seeing each other once again? Let's just do it right now! This is where he uses the puppets by mostly the control Ambus by making him his like puppets. Think of it like Doflamingo and how he uses people as like servants or whatever to try to attack other people. He uses those Ambus to try to attack Kampachi. This is where Kampachi sliced them down, but this is where they're still moving because they're still controlled by the blood kind of strings. This is where, well, Naruto is right now appearing in front of Kampachi, and this is where, well, multiple medals are around, well, what's it called? Naruto. You see here, they're floating up, and they're right now kind of all sharp in an instant. Mostly, some of those are just broken pieces, but they all became sharp in an instant. He actually molted them all to be sharp. This is where he launches them so fast straight to Kampachi. Kampachi winds his eyes. Well, doesn't really wind his eyes. He actually grins even more, seeing how the kid doesn't care about death. This is where, well, he easily slices through all the kind of, well, mostly shatter fragments of mostly metal. But this is where when he's kind of slicing them down, they actually became into another blade and another blade. It seems that mostly this kid is quite powerful. His metallic blade, mostly metal Kenkai, seems to be quite strong. And quite annoying, but at the same time, quite deadly. If it wasn't for Kampachi just easily slicing through what's it called, these like metal fragments, and then just becoming more metal fragments, and the fact that, hey, well, that he also has to dodge these Ambus from actually touching him, he wouldn't be able to actually stand up against mostly Naruto. Naruto is right now grinning. This is where, well, Naruto then uses something from his hand that surprised mostly Kampachi. This is where, well, mostly he grabs the dagger that he has in his hand. Yes, the dagger in his hand, and this is where, well, not the dagger itself. He grabs a huge sword that mostly Kampachi was put on the ground, and it was basically the one of the seven swordsmen swords. Of course, he tried to lift it up, but it's too heavy for him. So what he does mostly the best is basically shorten the kind of like huge blade itself and turning it into a similar katana size towards mostly Kampachi's, like a long katana. And of course, is where, well, Naruto's able to lift it now. This is where, well, Kampachi grins seeing how mostly Naruto copy or mostly changed Zabuza's kind of blade into a similar blade towards his. This is where Kampachi grins and says, "Bring it on, kid! Show me what you can do!" This is where, well, mostly Naruto's rushing with such a vicious grin and saying, "Bring it then! I'll surely win. I don't care about anything." This is where, well, Naruto's voice is such a deep tone and menacing at the same time. But before mostly, Naruto being able to rush at mostly, Kampachi? Kampachi noticed something from mostly his, behind, well, mostly Naruto, or mostly Metallic. Metallic was mostly rushing towards Kampachi, using all the bit of chakra that he had in his mostly, mostly in his body, and kind of checking some of the nine tails. Of course, the sword was actually becoming kind of firish kind of color, like a lightish kind of orangey one. But this is where, well, mostly his eyes became into a two tomoe, thanks to this whole battle to the death somewhat. But this is where, well, it was kind of a battle to the death. At the same time, it was not. This is where, well, Kampachi actually wanted to see how the kid would grow even further in the near future, because the kid is still young and kind of reminds him of someone else. But mostly, the kid was rushing straight to Zaraki, But before even kind of getting closer, multiple what's it called, kunais and senbons kind of crashes upon mostly Naruto on his back. Right now, making Naruto unable to kind of move anymore. But this is where some of them also crashes into Zaraki. But this is where Zaraki kind of screeches in anger. The fact that he had a good fight for the he hadn't had a good fight for the longest point, and yet it got interrupted. The kid right now in front of him falls down to the ground. Now, of course, not many kind of senbons and daggers, or not daggers, mostly kunai would smash into his body. Instead, it kind of was fully into Naruto's back. But this is where, well, mostly Zaraki screeches and right now puts the sword in front of him and swings it up in the sky. And this is where it becomes yellow in an instant. This is where, well, he screeches saying, "You bastards!" He swings the sword down, and this is where a yellowish light appears straight towards mostly Root and normal Anbus. This is where before they can even react, they literally get right now blasted straight to hell. All of them just appear right in front of the Shinigami. The Shinigami looks up. We go into the Shinigami POV. Huh? Huh? What the fuck happened to all of you? All of them are kind of literally cut into like pieces. This is where they appear right in front of the Shinigami. Shinigami says, "I don't care what happened to you people. All I know is you people are basically dead. Now get your ass over here, boy." This is where, well, he basically takes these motherfuckers with him, trying to just eat them. But yeah, he basically eat them, but not the point. We go back into the POV of Kenpachi. Kenpachi noticed the kid isn't fully dead. He's still breathing, but of course he passed out thanks to the lack of blood, because there was a lot of blood kind of dripping from his body. Now, this is where Kenpachi could have left him, or could have decided to take him. He decided to take him. He wouldn't mind kind of having to take another kid, because he already has a couple kids with him, but not the point. This is where, well, we go into mostly a time skip later on. Naruto, also known as Metallic, seems to be waking up. This is where, well, he tries to wake up and trying to get up, but this is where he feels something heavy. Something kind of like stopping him from getting up. Now, of course, this is where he's confused, but this is where when he opens his eyes, he kind of opened his eyes, which his goldenish, well not goldenish, his silverish eyes kind of meet up with someone with, what's it called? When he opened his eyes, his silverish eyes connected with a girl who's actually having scarlet kind of eyes. Her eye color is scarlet. The reason why I'm saying it's a girl is because when mostly Naruto fully opened his eyes, he noticed that this person's actually a girl. For mostly her face to being kind of cute, of course she does have palish skin. This is where, well, she does have kind of longish but shortish blackish hair. But she also has a crimson blood halo on top of her head, and he also noticed wings behind her. But yeah, this is where, well, Naruto was confused, but this is where his face becomes a pinkish color in an instant. This is where, well, the girl herself kind of looks at Naruto with a confused look until mostly she got off of him, thinking it was nothing. This is where, well, she then says, "Hello there." This is where, well, or she kind of says, "Hi." This is where, well, when Naruto managed to get up, of course, he felt like he couldn't fully get himself up, but he managed to just go through the pain. He looks towards mostly the girl, and she seems to be somewhere around his age. Now, of course, he sees wings, but there kind of seems to be not fully developed. But this is where he doesn't care. He then looks at the girl with narrow eyes, and yet he's confusedly wondering who exactly this girl is. This is where, well, she says, "Oh, you're probably wondering who I am. Well, my name is Kenzaki." This is where, well, right now Naruto looks at her confusedly, and this is where, well, Kenzaki says, "Can I know your name?" This is where, well, Naruto says, "Metallic." Instead of like saying his actual name like Naruto or Uzumaki or whatever, he says Metallic. This is where, well, mostly the girl says, Metallic. What an interesting name. This is where, well, mostly Naruto now has eyes at the girl, but yet he doesn't seem to have, well, she doesn't seem to have any hostile intent against him. He always had this feeling of having a sixth feeling to being able to feel someone else's emotion. Someone probably thanks to the fact that he has grown up in a village where basically everyone tries to kill him and everyone has the intent to kill him. But not the point. This is where, well, Naruto tries to get up, but this is where she still feels his back really hurting. This is where Kenzaki says, "You're probably wondering Or you're probably just wondering why you have so much pain on your back. This is where, well, Naruto nodded. This is where, well, she says, well, you had multiple daggers slash kunais, well, not daggers, kunais and senbon stabbing your back. Now, the reason why you're not dead is probably, I don't know. This is where, well, Naruto nodded, but this is where he's trying to get up because it's nothing towards him, the pain or any of that. When he managed to get up, he can feel mostly the Nine Tails power managing to flood through his system to actually fully heal it. But yeah, so he won't pass out and die. This white one, he looks towards the girl, and this white one, was the girl seem surprised? And this white well, she then says, "Okay, well, I'll bring it to what's it called, mostly my father, since mostly you seem to finally wake up." This white well, Naruto said, "Your father? But I don't know who your father is." "Oh, you don't? But you have fought him just recently, a while ago, like about a week ago." This is where, well, Naruto says, "Wait, was I asleep for 1 week?" This is where, well, she nodded, and this is where, well, Naruto widened his eyes, but yet again, he doesn't care. Why would he care? He doesn't really have anything to do in the village, like hitting a leaf, which he's still thinking that he's in the village. But this is where, well, she decides to grab his hand, and of course Naruto has a little tint of blush because he never felt someone else's hand kind of grab his. But this is where, well, he feels a little bit of mostly she feels kind of warm even though she has pale skin, but yet he doesn't seem to mind it. Because usually his hands are quite cold most of the time. But not the point. This is where, well, she brings him towards mostly downstairs. Now he realizes there's actually lots of rooms in this place. Somewhat. Yet, we'll see he's taken out of this room and decides to bring downstairs. Now, when he goes downstairs, he sees an older looking man right now kind of trying to eat, but of course someone is on top of him right now saying Kenny, or mostly Kenchen. But yeah, Kenny Chen. So, of course, this is where it's like a girl with pinkish hair, and of course having kind of brownish eyes. Yeah, brownish eyes. And of course, she's right now kind of petting mostly the older black-haired man on top of his head, saying, Can Chen. But yeah, that's where, well, the older man is not that bothered from the little girl who keeps kind of hitting his head, but yeah, this is where he looks towards mostly the stairs and realizes that mostly he sees Kenzaki and also the other looking dude boy. Now, he is not that bothered in seeing Kenzaki or what's it called, Naruto. Well, not Naruto, also known as Metallic, but yeah. That's where, well, mostly Zaraki says, "So, it seems that you're finally awake. Took you long enough. Then again, you are kind of like a 7-year-old who just took massive wounds and yet didn't die. Huh, I thought you weren't afraid to die. But yet maybe you weren't and you didn't care." I don't really care. This is where, well, Naruto noticed at the table seems to be other people. Now, they seem to be somewhat girls. Mostly the girl on top of mostly Zaraki seems to be a girl. Was quite small, probably around 4, 5. He can't tell. He doesn't care too much. But she's probably around 3, 4, or 5, whatever. This is where he noticed other girls, and of course some of them seem to be either around 8 or 7. Probably around 7, maybe his age. A girl with kind of bluish hair. Of course, she does have a hat on top of her head. Mostly her hair is kind of like bluish, kind of icy blue, but not the point. She does have icy blue eyes. She's cold as hell because she does have a cold attitude around her. Mostly like this. Yeah, cold attitude. She does have like a white hat on top. She does have what's it called, this like blue shirt and even this white coat around her, but yeah. She is right now kind of just eating. And this is where, well, another person is next to her, well, kind of next to her, mostly sitting on another chair, and she basically looks like. So, this is where, well, he noticed 3 more girls from mostly the blue hair girl. This is where, well, he noticed, well, a kind of, mostly 2 of them seem to have black hair. Well, one of them has kind of blackish long hair. Of course, she has somewhat cat ears. had hazelish kind of slick eyes, and this worked well. The other one had kind of longish black hair, but also magenta eyes. This worked well. They were kind of talking. Now the last one seems to be quiet, and of course seems to have like a stuffed bear in her kind of like arms. This is where she's not eating, but mostly she has kind of palish, well, mostly palish rose blonde hair and even palish blue eyes. This is where, well, she is basically just mostly seem to be talking to the bear itself, the stuffed bear, but mostly Naruto slash Metallic is confused, but yeah, he doesn't care. He sometimes does that with his metal creation, but yet he doesn't really care. Now, of course, mostly all the kind of girls actually stop what they're doing and notice how mostly Zaraki did kind of talk to a kid, which they don't really know, but when they turn to see where Kentucky's at, they notice the kid being behind her. Now, of course, he isn't really hiding, but yet just kind of confused because he noticed he noticed all their eyes kind of looking at him, which he kind of just looked away from their eyes. Yet, mostly he decides to sit next to Zaraki. This is where, well, Naruto slash Metallic said, so why the heck did you help me? This is where, well, mostly Zaraki looks at mostly Naruto, and then looks back at what he was doing, mostly eating still. This is where, well, Zaraki says, you ask way too many damn questions, don't you? Are you those type of people to, wonder why people helped you? This is where, well, Naruto shook his head and said, never mind. I probably won't get anything from you. So, where exactly are we? I feel like we're not in the Leaf Village because a next-ranked criminal wouldn't be able to just walk into the Leaf Village and just get a hotel or something, would he? This is where, well, mostly Kenpachi grins and how mostly Naruto seems to be able to have a keen eye. He has also a keen eye in battle, but yet also quite smart and talented. But yet those things won't help someone in a battle. But, I mean, it would, but not sometimes, all the time. For Zaraki, he doesn't really care that much about being smart or any of that. This is where, well, Zaraki says, you're right, Brat. I brought you back to where I'm living at. Mostly it's kind of a wooden kind of cabin out in the forest. Mostly somewhere near the land of the demons. Now, you don't really need to worry. There's no demons out here that probably will eat you. This is where, well, Zaraki kind of grins, and this is where the other girls kind of already know that Zaraki is trying to see if he can scare the hell out of them. Now, of course, none of them were actually entirely scared. Half of the other girls were actually 5 in total, but yeah. But this is where, well, mostly they are actually wondering if, well, they actually show a keen eye to see if mostly, well, Metallic himself, which is a weird name because it's literally close to metal, but to see if he's scared. Which Naruto looks at mostly Kapachi and says, demons. Are you talking like the demons, like the Nine Tails, or what are you? Oh no, not like those type of demons. Well, I mean, it is technically still a demon, but mostly what I'm talking about like huge creatures or monsters that will try to eat you and devour you. Not like the Nine Tails or anything. I don't think the Nine Tails devours you. That's where, well, Naruto nodded, saying, so, if I go up against these creatures, would I be able to train? Quite an interesting kid you are. You seem to see quite a good opportunity to grow, and decide to pick the demons. I thought you would literally start kind of just training your body and figuring out what to do, but instead you're going into battle, straight into battle again. How about this, kid? How about we all go check on the demons? This is where, well, Naruto wasn't too fond of going with others, but this is where, well, mostly he just nodded, because that's all he could do. This is where, well, he's always been somewhat of a loner, and would rather be seen as a loner. So, of course, this is where, well, Naruto, he was kind of just getting kind of ready, which mostly Zaraki just tell him to eat something, and then go. This is where, well, mostly Naruto does kind of eat something. This is where, well, all of them, even the 5 girls, are just kind of going towards the demons. Which, this is where a huge demonic creature appears in front of them. Now, this is where Zaraki kind of took a glance at mostly all the children to see if they're all scared. And yet none of them are. Which Zaraki grins because he noticed that all of them doesn't really fear death at all. And then when he turns to see a glance again to see where Naruto's at, or mostly Metallic, he doesn't even see Metallic. Metallic's gone. Metallic appears right now on top of the demonic creature stabbing you with what's it called? The Zabuza blade, mostly the Executioner. Now the Executioner is still the katana shaped one blade. This is where, well, he takes the blade out of what's it called? Well, mostly the demonic creature, and the demonic creature screeches and right now tries to attack, well, Naruto. Naruto dodges by using some of the metallic that he still had on him, mostly the metal liquid, to turn into strings to actually kind of wrap around mostly this demonic creature. To kind of do it like similar to what Attack on Titans kind of do, like those zip lines or whatever the hell it's called. But mostly he kind of uses it to kind of just kind of go around the demonic creature to kind of be a little bit flexible. And this is where, well, he then uses the sword that he still had, but he still kind of is the Executioner, a little bit heavy, but he managed to get used to it because he's using a bit of the Naruto's power to slice off the head of the demon. This is where the demon's head has managed to be sliced off, and this is where, well, most of the demon falls down, and this is where, well, Naruto lands on top of the demon. This is where, well, Naruto's confused, and the demon being a little bit weaker than he expected. Yet then again, he did fight against someone so powerful, being Zaraki, so he didn't expect too much. This is where, well, he then sighs and looks at mostly Zaraki. Zaraki says, really, well, pretty good to going up against a one-star demon. Tell me, kid, will you be able to go up against the other type of demons? This is where, well, mostly, well, Naruto says, well, I will never know if I don't go up against him, would I? This is where, well, Zaraki grins and says, okay, then let's go, kid. This is where, well, we go into the next type of demons. Demon, well, mostly a 2-star demon appears. This is where Naruto has a little bit of a struggle, but yet he still was able to kill the demon itself by actually making a metal kind of like, what's it called, a spike in his hand to stab the demon multiple times, so he won't be like pushed around or mostly like flung away. This is where, well, mostly Naruto started cutting the demon multiple times, just ripping it apart. This is where, well, Naruto really didn't care. He didn't even activate his Sharingan because he still doesn't know about that. This is where, when it comes to a 3-star demon, he actually managed to activate his Sharingan in the middle of the serious battle and, of course, start trying to kill it. But yeah, this is where he stabbed the demon in the eye, then takes his sword out and then just changes the sword into 2 daggers in an instant because, well, he needed 2 weapons to actually stay still and start kind of just stabbing in the eyes multiple times. So yeah. When it comes to a 4-star demon, he basically just thought of something creative, which it was just multiple metal balls that he had in his like pocket, because it was just metal and that he actually managed to get from all the kunais that he kind of noticed, like kunais and sunballs that he noticed in a bucket that all had blood, which he just transformed into balls, like metallic balls, and that's where even like the blood itself, and he just tosses it into the mouth, into the demon entirely. This is where, well, he then just thought of all those metallic balls to explode into basically senbons. This is where, well, they all explode into senbons and launching into, what's it called, like these small senbons, and just piercing the demon outside, basically like a porcupine. Right now making the demon has multiple tiny holes and bleeding. This is where, well, distracting the demon before he can take the head off the demon. This is where, well, he kind of lands down on the ground. Of course, there's blood on top of him, being like bluish blood, but he doesn't care. This is where, well, it smells quite disgusting and blah. But yeah. This is where, well, Zaraki can see that mostly this kid can take on a level 4 demon, like mostly a level 4-star demon, which he's grinning to see how far would this kid be able to go to. But when it came to a level 5 demon, yet this kid still has some struggle against mostly a level 5 demon, because even the girls that behind him had mostly a struggle, and yet mostly Naruto's also having a struggle. This is where Naruto refuses to give up and refuses to be weak, just like when he was basically a 3, 4, and 5, 6-year-old. But yeah, this is where, well, he activates the 9-tails cloak, basically a 1-tails cloak, and yet his power and speed kind of increases entirely. This is where, well, the sword itself started glowing with a very ferocious orange color. His eyes were burning and raging. He says, I'm not giving up. I'm not going to be pathetic. I'm not a weakling. I'm not the damned 9-tails. I will kill you. This is where, well, mostly Naruto disappears in an instant, disappears from the demon's view and appears mostly on top of the demon. This is where, well, he gathers all the metallic around his body, mostly all the metal kind of like shrapnel that he had around him. This is where he made the sword pretty long, and this is where he decided to cut the demon's head off in an instant. Or mostly not head, mostly cut it straight through the middle. Mostly cut the demon's head straight to the middle, and right now putting it into a two. Well, putting the two demons, well, mostly one demon into two. This is where the demon was kind of splattering more blue blood up in the sky, and yet he didn't care. This is where, well, he was actually kind of tired and had the sword right now back to the normal shape size. But this is where, well, he was feeling really tired and passing out. But yeah, mostly Zaraki was surprised to actually now found out that mostly when Naruto explained about the Nine-Tails demon, he was actually wondering if it was similar to that. He was actually confused in how a child knows about it, but then again, he's from the Leaf Village, so he probably wouldn't know about it. But then again, finding out that mostly Naruto or Metallic is actually the Nine-Tails demon vessel. This is where, well, he grins because he knows that mostly probably the Leaf Village will go after him, and he will probably have a good fight, now that he thinks about it. Maybe he can even get, what's it called, a copy ninja to fight him. But yeah. This is where, well, we go back into the house, mostly the cabin. This is where Naruto wakes up and sees someone else being on top of him. Being, well, a different girl. This time, well, not being on top of him, but mostly, unlike the other girl, well, mostly being, well, mostly having her face over his face, but she's not on top of the bed or anything. She's just checking on him to see if he's okay. Having her hand on top of his face, or mostly head, to see his heat. This is where, well, it's none other than the palish blondish hair girl. And of course, the where, well, rose kind of blondish hair. She does have palish blue eyes, and both their eyes kind of meet up. Palish blue eyes meet up with silverish kind of, somewhat silverish, dolish color eyes. This is where, well, both of them just glance at each other. This is where, well, Naruto noticed where her hand was at, and this is where she, well, I mean, not she, mostly, Naruto turns his face a little bit pinkish. This is where, well, she noticed that his heat actually rises up, but was confused. This is where, well, she pulls out like this wet kind of towel and puts it on top of his head, and this is where, well, she then kind of walks away, but yeah. Of course, she noticed that he woke up, but probably his heat went up, so of course, yeah. This is where Naruto sighs, and this is where he tries to get up, but then felt weak. He can't get up because he wasted too much chakra. So of course, all he can do is just fall back asleep, but yeah. This is where, well, we go into the mindscape of mostly Naruto, and he meets up with the Nine-Tails. The Nine-Tails are
so you came here to see me. It seems like you were able to activate 1,000. Quite interesting.
This is where, well, Naruto says, God damn it. Well, so you're here. Interesting. So, I activated her power. So that's the power of mostly a one-tailed cloak. Man, it would have been quite nice to slaughter all those people in the Leaf Village if you would have helped me back then.
I probably would have, but nah.
Well, fuck you. This is where, well, mostly Naruto says fuck you because he kind of learned about the cuss word a while ago from the whole villagers cussing at him, but yeah. This is where, well, the Nine-Tails said the reason why I didn't help you entirely was because of your body still being too weak. But since you activate that whole Metal Kenkai, your body has become stronger. This is where, well, I'm gonna stop doing the voice. Actually, this is the mostly not the editor, mostly the person who's doing this video, the actor, me, who is just saying I'm gonna stop doing that voice. It hurts my voice a little bit, but yeah. We go back to the what if. This is where, well, Naruto says, I see. So you aren't just being a prick. Okay, fine. So if I keep going up against these demons, maybe even to level 5, would I be able to control more of your power? The Nine-Tails itself says, well, kinda. Maybe. You see here, the seal here is getting weaker over time, so your power will be increasing later on. So you will have to be needing to control more percentage of my power later on when you grow up. This is where, well, Naruto nodded and says, I see. Well, then I guess I'll have to grow up faster, shouldn't I? This is where, well, we go into a time skip later on. Basically, Naruto has been fighting against his demons ever since he was 7 years old. Now towards he's actually, well, the age of being 14. It's been 7 years. 7 years of him just basically training in the demon kind of land to actually keep fighting against his demons. Fight against either 1 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 stars, and even a 6-star one time. Now, a 6-star kind of looks like a dragon, but it was called a demonic dragon, which mostly this demonic dragon sent this demonic flames. And this is where, well, it would have burned him, but mostly this metal was actually, any metal that was regular would have easily burned. But he found out this interesting, mostly metallic, metal. There's actually different types of metal, like chocolate metal and other things. But he found holy metal one time when he was actually in the kind of demonic land. He only found it because there was a dead body about it. There was a shield, and of course he can actually use this shield to, right now, once he switched the shield's shape into another different weapon. He made it into a sword, basically just stab the demonic dragon, trying to kill it, but yeah. But with that happening, he managed to kill it after a while. This is where, well, he's the age of 14, and he's the height of being, well, 5, mostly 7. He's actually the height of 5'7", and this is where, well, even though he's 14, he's 5'7" already, he's quite tall. And this is where, well, his hair has actually gotten longer, mostly a little bit longer, mostly to the height of going down his, like, mostly upper back. And this is where, well, his hair is actually a goldenish brown, and sometimes he passes into a ponytail because some of the girls actually does mess with his hair around most of the time. But he really doesn't care too much. But he kind of looks like this. I think I can find a picture. Wait. So it's kind of like this. He has it kind of in a ponytail, but not much. It's kind of like this short, but yeah, not the point. So mostly what I mean with the other girls kind of mess with his hair sometimes, but yeah. Now they don't really see Naruto as a brother, but mostly like a friend, or even some of them kind of looks at him more like a lover most of the time, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly Zaraki is kind of like the father of all of them, kind of like an adoptive father, because mostly that's what he is entirely, but yeah. Now, Naruto has actually become much stronger, and of course using metals and other things, even though he hasn't like discovered if he can actually use like a huge portion of metal, like a bunch of it at once to make like a huge blade or any of that, because he's only been finding scraps around the demon lands, but yeah. Now, he found out one thing. When it becomes dark in the demon lands, all the demons becomes 10 times stronger than normal. But yeah, he doesn't really care. It's quite interesting. He becomes stronger also during the night. He also actually found out. Mostly thanks to the fact that he actually drank some of the demonic blood. Which the demonic blood actually activated something in his body, which was actually quite interesting. He actually is a part of the demonic race. Mostly something called Sparta, but he found out from this because he activated a sword from mostly... He just summoned it in an instant when he was fighting a strong demon. It was basically called Yamato, and this is where he easily just cut down the demon that he was fighting against, but yeah. His hair is kind of goldenish, goldenish, like golden color, but it's also white, so it's kind of like gold and white a little bit, but yeah, like a little bit of white highlights around his hair. But that's not the point here or there. And his eyes are actually like a bluish silver color, but yeah. So, that's the thing. Now, I don't care how many people are going to be over here complaining and say, why are you going to give him the Spartan bloodline? Blah, blah, blah. Shut the hell up. I'm doing this because I can. Now, shut up. Now, we go back into Naruto. Naruto is kind of, well, just 14 years old. It's been 7 years. He would have probably surpassed the Academy's bullcrap, but yet he's thankful for the fact that he's no longer in the village. So, yeah. And he's also... did have to tell his real name to be Naruto instead of, well, what's it called? Metallic. But of course, none of the girls really did care. Neither did Zaraki. So of course, he decided to keep it as Metallic. So yeah. This is where, well, we go into mostly a time skip of mostly Naruto waking up the next day. But yeah, because basically yesterday was a very tough ass day because he was fighting against actually a, well, new demon. It was a level 7. But yeah. He basically went under a cave, and he found out demons under caves are much more stronger, probably higher level, but not the point. But that is not the point here or there. But of course, I'm going to probably leave it off here for part 1 of this what if. Yes, mostly I kind of. Also, I should mention within the tuning exams already kind of just passed by. Mostly the one where the Leaf Village gets attacked and other things. That's already like went by. Even the Zabuza thing or whatever Warcraft. Now, I'm not going on with the original story too much, which I don't care too much. So of course I'm just gonna go on with a little bit of my story. But yeah, maybe. Maybe I go on still with the same. Maybe not. Probably. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I might do that with also some of the other what ifs. But maybe, or maybe I'll just finish them or whatever. But hope you guys like it. This is part one of this what if. But other than that, bye, see you and bye. Now, goodbye. What time is it? Oh shit, 12 o'clock. Never mind. Bye bye. I would have, before I go off, I would have actually done this as a movie to actually finish this what if, but I couldn't. Because I am still thinking of a lot of things on how to actually finish this what if. Maybe I'll do it for 3 episodes and I'm done. I don't know. Maybe. But other than that, bye, see you, bye.